Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all the beautiful people, guess what? Guess what? It's the 22nd of December. It's the last show of 2016. We're not going to play any games. No. We're going to hang out. We're going to Q&A. I don't even know why I have these in. I don't need headphones. I don't need headphones. I'm just talking to you. Hi. Hello. You don't have a soundtrack. I can look at what you're saying. I don't have to listen to it. I don't need the headphones. Today, we're just kind of hanging out, doing a little Q&A. I mean, I would call it like an AMA, but here's the thing. AMAs, I tend to think of as being like a Reddit thing. And we're not going to take the most upvoted questions here. We're totally not. I'm going to selectively ignore stuff and pick things out and spend 15 minutes talking about it. This is not going to be super structured, but we are going to say a few things. First of all, I hope you guys had a good 2016, as this is the last time you're going to be hearing from me, and I know that some things happened that made people a little frowny, but I think a whole lot of good things happened. There's this amazing man by the name of Rami Ismail. He is a game designer at Vlambeer, or one of the owners of Vlambeer, and he's everywhere. There's probably 20 Ramis doing speeches at conventions right now, and he did a little tweet where he was like, "Hey, what good stuff happened to you in 2016?" And so all the responses were just like heartwarming and delightful, and it actually put me in a sincerely good mood. So I've been thinking a lot about all the lovely things that have happened despite any of the stresses that have happened this year, and I hope you had a good year. Sincerely hope you had a good year. Second thing that I wanted to say is we're going to be off for 2 weeks. Coming back on January 9th. That's going to be a Monday. We're going to try to beat Secret of Monkey Island. That's pretty straightforward. And the third thing, feel free to start generating your questions while I start with a prompt about what I am doing for the next 2-ish weeks. Okay. First of all, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going nowhere, man. I'm sitting at home with the baby cats. Let's see if we got a Despy here. Despy! Meow! That will be improved over break. We're going to get the call and response working solidly. I'm going to be spending a lot of time at home. Yeah! Oh! Yeah! I have the goal to begin to exercise, because here's the thing. All the stuff that people say, like, oh, all you have to do is carve an hour out a day. Carving an hour out in a day is the hardest thing in the entire universe. I don't think it's actually that difficult to work out. I think it is almost impossible to get to the gym. So it's going to be one of my big focuses, just trying to show up to there. So that's one thing. Second big thing, I want to watch an anime series. That's what I'm fucking talking about, man. I want to find some legit serious anime that isn't clowny. Okay, let me explain what I mean by clowny. There's this anime called Parasite with a Y, Parasyte, and I saw a number of people be like, this show is so sick, it's stern and tough and deals with serious dark themes, and I was like, I gotta check this out. And there's an alien, a parasite that half infects a human being, and it like takes control of his hand, so his hand, oh my god, it's an alien hand that can like shapeshift and stuff, and the alien hand has one of these high-pitched kind of voices like this, woo! Can't take it seriously, it's too clowny. It's clowny, I'm not gonna watch it. I'm not gonna watch the parasite from planet Croundar bring me to a place of unsmiling. I'm not gonna do that, because it hurts my suspension of disbelief. And the example of a non-clowny anime that I really, really like, Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex. Ooh! So I was polling the crowd, I was asking a little bit, I see you there, hello crowd. I was asking about some more serious, darker animes. I heard Monster is a good, serious one that it's not clowny. Ergo Proxy, I heard, is another one, so I'm going to investigate that. Berserk, I've also heard a little bit about, so it's a little bit exciting. It's a little bit exciting. So that's the second thing, right? Doing some Jimmy things. I'm going to try to do an anime thing. I have a LAN party planned. Oh my god, and we're going to play probably 100 games of Dota in 5 days. Yes, I'm 30, and I'm doing a LAN party with 30-year-olds. It's going to be sick. So sick. Oh my god, so much LANing is going to be unreal. We got to do a movie day. Man. We're doing a full day of just sitting there, lumping up and watching movies. I want to reread the Akira comic books. I want to try to read a book. I'm really really considering just buying a Beatmania 2DX controller and just setting it up like right here and playing 2DX at my computer. Doesn't that sound fun? I think that sounds fun. I think that sounds tight. And as item number 8, I really, this isn't guaranteed yet, but I'm really thinking I might do a Skyrim binge. I don't know. Maybe I'll go back to Fallout New Vegas and do a Fallout New Vegas binge. Maybe I'll do that. I remember Fallout New Vegas like so clearly still. Gosh, so awesome. I think, yeah, actually, I think I'm gonna do a Fallout New Vegas binge. I think that's what I'm gonna do. So that's what I got. That's what I think I'm gonna be doing, right? Oh, Steins Gate. That's right. Crazy Straws. Another recommendation that's been coming up. So it's basically the predominant structure is going to be fitness, a day or two of binging television and movies, ooh, a lot of Dota, and then probably little Akira, little books, little other things. Oh yeah, oh yeah. What about you? What about you? Obviously, this is more than can be accomplished in 2 weeks. My goal is not to actually nail. My goal is to have a whole pile of stuff that I'm excited about, and I can wake up on a day with no plan and go, what do I want to do today? I love waking up with no plan. Oh my god. Oh, that's so sick. Oh. Remiel Gaming says, Dana, back in 2012, you did the Trials of the Xel'Naga. Would you want to do something like that again? Because it was hilarious. For any of you who don't know, the Trials of the Xel'Naga was an event that we put on for Red Bull where we got a custom map in StarCraft built, and the audience in the auditorium and the audience at home voted on what they wanted to happen. So I would say something like, it's 4 minutes into the game. Now, one of 3 things is going to happen, guys. Do you want a nuke to fall somewhere randomly on the map? Actually, no, those weren't the extreme ones. It's like, okay, do you want a treasure baneling to spawn in the middle of the map? Do you want unit power-ups to spawn in the middle of the map? Or do you want a demon to attack each player? And people would vote, and it would just cause chaos and weirdness. It was kind of like StarCraft, the Hunger Games. And it was a lot of fun. It was difficult as hell. For something that just seemed kind of goofy and, ooh, that was so fucking scary to do because there were just too many moving parts. And I mean, it should have gone wrong. It should have burned to the ground, but it didn't. It actually went really, really well. First of all, the map was made by this amazing designer named Mung at Blizzard, who he just banged that thing out over the course of a few days. And first of all, it was really nice that Blizzard was offering some of their support. They had, we're having conversations with me and Red Bull and Blizzard about what some of the plans were, what some of the things were, and his time was available for just a few days to be able to squeeze that in, so they produced this thing for us. Which is, on one hand, wonderful, but on the other hand, if for some reason something doesn't work, I literally have no way to fix it at the event. Okay. Another one was that a little overlay thing popped up that was like, which choice do you want to do? And it was like a very careful slice of a screen section of someone scrolling on a website to take votes. So if anything goes down on the website, that just totally collapses. There's a third thing, which is none of these effects have really been tested with pro players at all going into the event. I mean, we tested it with other people, but I mean, what if one of these... I mean, you know how tough the balance of StarCraft 2 is, right? That's like razor thin. Like if they said marine damage has been increased by 1, Terran's broken, no one can be Terran's invincible, it's too much, right? Oh my god. When Immortals... Oh, excuse me, I don't even need to do Immortals. Warp Prisms. When Warp Prisms were suddenly able to pick up from range 6, oh my god, it's impossible. Warp Prisms are basically teleportation devices. They're just things all over the place. Ah! I mean, to think that fragile StarCraft balance, we put in Hunger Games style effects, there was no telling what could have gone wrong. And in fact, on one of the nights, I told the story before, on one of the nights, things were just running over. Things were just running late, so we had to wrap it up. So I was like, let me click a few things a little faster. Instead of doing it every 4 minutes as we planned, let me just click something a few times just to put a little more chaos in there. And we killed Bomber in 9 minutes. Like, instantly, Bomber died. And this is like the Red Bull sponsored player. And he like takes his headphones off. And he like looks at me and I'm like, Let's go to game two. And like game two, I like killed him in 3 minutes. Oh my god, I was so embarrassed. I was like so stressed. I was like, well, that's our show. And I just like turned it off and just like tried to hold my hands up and just float through the ceiling, never to be seen again. God, it was so stressful. So I think that from a conceptual perspective, the idea of being able to plop in crazy random effects into a game, that sounds fun. That sounds really, really, really fun. But I've done this in a number of ways over time. There is the Funday Monday style thing, which is that we enter the game with a set of constraints. I really like those. I really, 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 really like those sort of things. Those are cool. The effects happening within the game, I almost want to say, hey, game developer community out there, why don't you make a game where that's a big thing? And then that way the proper QA and design time and all that shit can actually go into it. Oh, gosh. Oh, that was so sick. Oh, in terms of some plans of holiday breaks, the Twister of Nipples, what a name, says, I'm going to make a Go board from mahogany. I can't read. Mahogany. It's going to be great. Oh, it's so sick, dude. A Go board. There's some sick looking Go boards here. Let's see if we can actually load one up right here. Chrome Go board. They just look so amazing. Oh gosh, like the ones that are super nice. Let me actually. This is kind of a weak screen capture. Does this work? Does this work? Nope, doesn't work at all. Let me see if we can actually just open it up over here. Is this gonna work? Preview. This is gonna look weird, but here we go. Hey, look at me. I'm floating in the Google image search. Woo! Yeah, look how. Oh gosh, Go boards just look so sick. Oh, look at this one. Oh my god. I mean, I have an inexpensive board, but I have these nice wooden stone holders. It's so great. It's so sick. Oh my gosh. JJ Ryan 49 says, will your Dota 2 vids be good for completely new players? I'm hoping it will be a little bit past for completely new players, and that there's going to be some way to fill in the stuff in between. Because really, the Dota 2 show I'm doing is basically, I want to be at my skill level and improve. But I've been having a lot of conversations with Purge about, how to account for that. Because I do think, for any content creators out there, here's something that I believe very strongly about Dota 2's current support ecosystem for new players. You kind of have to wade around confused for like 200 hours before you understand enough about the game to be able to extract learning from the guides that are available. There's very few dumb basic guides like, you want to play Pugna. Here are the list of abilities for Pugna. Here is essentially how he is supposed to be played. Here are 2 combos that might be useful. Here are heroes that are scary for Pugna and why. The end! Nothing advanced. Nothing advanced, like basic. Like, here's what I mean. If I look at a hero, like Beastmaster is a hero I've almost never played against. I could not tell you, based upon the list of abilities of Beastmaster, what he does. I have no clue. I have 0 sense. Death Prophet. Didn't know it was a hero till recently. Had no idea. Looked at the abilities for Death Prophet. Couldn't tell you what it is. I have no idea how it's supposed to be played. I have 0 sense. And I think that this is true for a lot of games, that there's just really basic stepping stone things. Like in StarCraft, someone kind of needs to say to you, most of your units are gateway units. The Immortal should not be the bulk of your army. That's kind of a support unit. Think of it like a supportive unit that you kind of splash in there. That's really useful. That's actually really useful. Zealots are generally not made in the mid game because they're too slow. Everything can shoot and run against them. It's really useful. I almost think like a shitload of games need dumbass basic stuff going on. Here's what I mean. In chess, The most important pieces or the most important places on the board to control are the 4 center tiles of the board, because those are the tiles that will most often have pieces passing through them. So if you can control them, you can prevent, most of the time, your opponent from getting his pieces where he wants to. Not a complex concept. Not a complex concept at all. Or, here is the notion of developing pieces. We want to have more of our pieces out of their original positions sooner. Right? Like that's, oh my god, wow. So people are going to fight in the middle, and they're going to try to move a lot of pieces to get a lot of things out of their original position so they can attack more tiles and they have more options. Huh, cool, right, nice. Like, I wish there were more of these. I took him says, do you watch any chess tournaments? Not in a long time. Not in a long time. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Still no P.O. box. I was supposed to do it today, and I just didn't. I didn't do it. Here's the thing. I got a new credit card from my bank. It's in my mailbox, but my mail key, it doesn't work in the mailbox. I don't know what happened. I couldn't turn it. Now, here's the thing. Here's what sucks about admitting that. I sound full of shit. I sound like I'm not telling the truth at all. Doesn't that sound... Well, my mailbox key I couldn't turn it. I don't know. I couldn't turn it. It just, I don't know. And I know it's my key in my box, and it fit in there, but it wouldn't turn. I don't know why. I don't know if they changed the locks. I don't know if I don't think I put in the wrong key, but I don't know. But I sound like I'm giving an excuse, and I'm not. I'm giving you a reason. That's why. And it is irresponsible. I'll admit, it's an irresponsible thing to have not set up a P.O. box when I've been trying to for all December. But you know what? I was working on the Dota 2 video series with Purge, just doing that shit, trying to do some early Q1 plans for Day 9 TV, which I'm hyped about. Setting up emotes. We're going to get some emotes coming. Fixed bugs on our website. So I didn't get the box. I didn't get the box working. You know what? I'm glad I couldn't open the mailbox because I've been busy. Man, Dan, it really sounds like you're making an excuse. Look at that. Yes, so many emotes. Or it's gonna be an unreal flood of emotes. What else? What do we want to know? I don't know. Geezer Gamers, how did you and Purge get in touch? Wonderful man by the name of Omer. Omer's a good guy. Omer introduced me to Felicia and Felicia Day, and to Purge. Omer's the one who got me into Dota. Thanks, Omer. Omer's the best. He's a good dude. He's a good dude. He's a super good dude. Not Homer, Omer. O-M-E-R. Oh, Mornial. Oh, here's a fantastic question. This is Dear Day 9 TV. If you would have to restart the whole Day 9 brand in today's internet reality, how would you approach it? What would be the first steps you would take, and how would you increase growth after a few small successes? That's interesting. So there's a few things that are really basic. I'm going to give some basic answers right away. First of all, I would get a name that I could snatch everywhere. It would be, like, for instance, I have every iteration of Day 9 TV that there is. I have twitter.com/day9tv, youtube.com/day9tv, twitch.com/day9tv. Our website is day9.tv. We also have day9tv.com. I got day9tv@gmail.com. Like, every single mixture of things like that, just so I can kind of have a good control over the space. I would also make it a name that isn't too flexible. Like, for instance, if I was a Rocket League player, I would be careful not to be like, I'm Sean Plott Rocket League. Follow me at twitter.com/Sean Plott Rocket League, because if you do that, you sort of pigeonhole yourself. And that's not the biggest deal, since that's a little bit more flexible. But I would do some of the basic stuff. I would have some consistent branding stuff. Like, let me show you. Like, if we go over to here, right? So here's So something that's really consistent visually in like everything that is day and night TV is diagonal lines like this. This is like absolutely everywhere in what we do, and also this very sharp orange color. I mean, the show's not over, but like, do I have any other assets? I don't think so. Yeah, but I mean, like that diagonal, that's in all of the thumbnails. It's a nice little visual motif that's really simple in there. I got something in my eye. So that's one thing I would do. I would want a nice visual motif, nice simple clarity of and consistency everywhere. And this is building up to the first big thing that I'd be trying to go if I launched a new brand for myself, like if I were like brand new entering. You need to be easy to find and easy to get into. That's one of the biggest, most important things I would try to focus on if I were starting a new brand. Because right now, take Day 9 TV right now. Day 9 TV, I've been doing this for over 7 years, okay? Like, just live streaming, just doing shows. I mean, I have you know, a pedigree beyond that, but like, just shows for 7 years. And what sort of games do I play? All sorts of games. All sorts of games. I get to do that because I already built an audience. Me hanging out and chatting or playing Hearthstone not at legend rank or just starting a playthrough of Hitman, none of that stuff is that easy to understand and to get into if you don't know me. Like, imagine if I had 10 views and I'm doing what I do right now, and someone says, "Oh, hey, who's Day 9? He's this guy. He's really positive and he's really funny and he likes community and he just plays a whole bunch of different games." No clarity. There's no, like, that sounds like half the people on this site, right? So what I would try to do initially is I'd try to ask, how do people clearly understand me, clearly get into me? What are ways to have that clarity of brand? So for instance, with StarCraft, I was able to make a very precise and clear name for myself. Because someone would say, first of all, there's a number of ways that people could discover Day 9 TV in the early days. It could be them going, "Man, how do I get good at StarCraft?" And they just search all on their own. And because all my content is so specifically fucking focused on that exact thing, they would find me. Boom, done. Second way that people could describe, or second way that people could get into Day 9 TV is it's very easily describable. Oh, you should check out this guy Day 9. Who's Day 9? He's this guy who's been playing StarCraft for like 20 years. So he does these videos where he like breaks down everything about the game in a really clear way, and he's really positive and funny about it. Notice how much more concrete and understandable that is than he plays all sorts of games and he's positive and like that's the sort of thing that's like really the clarity is there. So for if I were to launch a stream now or launch any sort of brand, I would want very precise clarity over the reason people should know me. And that might be something like, if it was a Twitch stream, it might be that I am an expert at a very specific type of game. It might be that there's a specific game that isn't really skill-based, but that has a dedicated community that's underserved. Like, I'm a hardcore Dwarf Fortress player. It might be that I have a really odd, unique personality like Dr. Disrespect. Like literally a character personality, or Future Man Gaming, who's a character. Notice again how easy it is. Who's Future Man Gaming? He's this guy who plays a character named Future Man who came back from the future where video games have become self-aware and taken over the world. And now he has to come back in time and beat them in order to stop them. And he makes up all this lore and history about what happened when video games became self-aware. Holy shit, I want to watch that shit. Oh, I want to watch that. Let me ignore streaming and come back to the idea of focused clarity. Amazon.com. It's the place you go to buy everything. Well, it certainly fucking wasn't when it launched. It was books online. books online, and that is understandable. That is clear. That is focused. Gosh, what are other types of media that I might be able to? I have a friend who does the princess rap battles, right? Focused. He does music videos of rap battles between famous princesses. Okay, boy, is that easy to understand. So that's the initial thing that I would do is I'd try to have simplicity of name, easy to find, ease and clarity of visual branding, and focus of the content. Focus so that people can get it, so that they can sort of understand that. Consistency would be big. Consistency and clarity of content. Again, clarity of content is something really big. This is I've been experimenting with this in the last few months because I've been doing significantly longer streams. But you'll notice that pretty much all the content I've ever done for, say, Hearthstone is about the name of a specific... This is so weird. I'm actually imagining that I am in a YouTube thumbnail and I'm pointing to the title above this thumbnail. There's always the title of the deck that I'm using in that 2-hour period, and I only use that deck and variants of that deck in the 2-hour period with virtually no exceptions. I've probably done 10, 15 times in all those decktaculars. Why? Because it's easy to understand. What is a Hearthstone decktacular? It's not, oh, Sean plays Hearthstone and he just has fun. No, it's not that I play bad decks. It's that Sean is always going to play a different deck in Hearthstone every single time. So easy to understand. I don't just play Hearthstone, I do it in a specific way. In the StarCraft dailies, the title, the topics, the focus, right? That sort of thing. So I would just really bang on that hard. And my anticipation would be that there would be similar types of competitors in the space, and I would simply try to outwork them. That's what I would do. I would honestly just try to destroy them through additional effort. And I don't mean through volume. The day 9 dailies, for instance, in terms of actual hourage, I did significantly less show hourage than most people did per week. But the amount of time that I devoted to each of those dailies was substantial. So I would spend many hours planning the 90-minute show and that sort of thing. So I would clarity of content, consistency, heavy work effort with those sorts of details in there. And then once I had some sort of platform there, that's when you can sort of branch off. Again, if I'm Amazon and people are already using books, then I can veer off. Sell electronics, I can start selling shoes and clothes. I can explore these markets one at a time. Or for me, I did StarCraft. Once I had StarCraft, I was able to veer and test and explore in different markets because the Day 9 TV brand was significant and substantial enough to self-sustain without that sort of specificity. Man, I got really into that answer. That's my answer. That's what I would do, Morneal. That's what I would do. I don't know if that was useful, but that sort of slowly transitioned into like what I do at Day 9 TV. So, see, anytime I go on a long thing like that, we got to just make sure we make some silly noises. Yeah. Keoak Viper says Dave basically defined any small business model. I feel like yes and no. I feel like there's this thing that I feel like is done where, okay, so yes, this does describe a lot of small business models, like 100%. But I think that these specifics are what's interesting and difficult. Like if I said to you, listen, every StarCraft strategy is trying to get more money while preventing your opponent from getting more money. Dota 2, it's a straightforward game. You're trying to get more money and prevent your opponents from getting more money. And then there's a little bit of subtlety when you start to learn the difference between carries and supports, and there's more subtlety when you understand the difference between the carries. And then you actually there's itemization. Oh my god! Suddenly it's like hugely complicated. Yeah. Trailer says most important question to ever be asked by humans: can we bring back the drinking word for mostly walking? That's how I was able to get my wife to watch. By convincing her it was a fun drinking show. I never... Oh, Forgot we did that. No, we got to do that, Drailer. Drailer, if you can spam me, I mean, I'm about to go on break. Drailer. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it's important to be honest with you, Drailer. I'm gonna forget about that. I'm going to. I don't want to, but I'm going to, and I know myself. And the reason is because I'm about to go on vacation. I'm about to stuff my head full of Fallout New Vegas and Dota and Ethiopian food. Right? I'm not gonna remember this, Drailer, and I want to. I sincerely do, but I'm only human. I'm only human. I'm admitting my fault to you right now. I think that's important. So please spam and remember me. Little Blue One asks, what is your most memorable moment while casting StarCraft? I have a lot of memorable moments. The BWC in Shanghai was funny, man. I remember there was the mind games thing with Apollo, where there was some delay, and normally you need like a lot of people operating the equipment there. You need like a director and an audio person, a graphics person, and a video switcher, just doing that. And for some reason, we had one guy. We had just one. And when the technical break happened, he just left. So there's a tech problem. We don't know what's happening, and there's no one there. So that's why like Apollo and I just like start talking, and like finally I see him come back, and I'm like, all right, let's go to a commercial break. And then nothing happened. He was gone again, right? The mind games thing is funny because you see this, but back there behind the camera, there's nobody there, man. And it was the funniest thing because I was like, I could take off all my clothes right now and no one would do anything. No one. For at least 5 minutes. For wherever this guy is. And I just found that unbelievably funny to be there with Apollo, especially when I like threw to break. Nothing happened. I was like, help, help. Oh God. Scarlet doing the crazy win against Bomber at that Red Bull DC event was just out of this world, man. That was nuts. That was so insane. Ooh, Valkyrie Parable is an interesting question. After being on Roleplay, what are your thoughts on D&D and the popularity of it online with shows like Roleplay, Critical Role, etc.? I've always felt like there's things that Twitch can do that other platforms can do. Like Day 9 Daily, right? Works well on YouTube, works well on Twitch. I mean, I know a lot of people would be really scared to do a show completely live, but, you know, let's ignore that, right? You can do it on Twitch, just fine. If PBS wanted to give me a TV spot, I would be able to do the Day 9 Daily there, right? Like, that works because it is a show. Like, shows work on Twitch. But one of the ways that Twitch succeeds that I think very few other platforms almost anywhere succeed at is hanging out. Like, we're hanging out right now. We're just chilling, we're just hanging out. We're just having a good hangout time. And so I think that these Dungeons and Dragons shows are like one of the more advanced, higher level forms of really just kind of fucking hanging out. It's like, I almost think it's a reflection of the quality of Twitch as a medium. But I think that it's showcasing, I don't know, I think it's nice. I mean, I was about to go into some big thing, but it's fucking cool. It's just nice. It's just really nice. It makes me very happy because there are lots of communities that are out there that aren't in the 5 million plus a night will tune in, therefore it can be on primetime television. Maybe there's just tens of thousands, but that's like their thing, man. They're into that. Like Adam Coble really fucking likes Dungeons and Dragons, man. He really likes those tabletop RPGs. He's into that shit. And now there's stuff for him to watch and stuff for him to engage in and to participate in. And, you know, okay, here's an interesting thing. Only from like only basically in the last like 60, 70, 80 years, something like that, was most of everyone consuming the same thing. Like, go back to the 1800s. like, if I'm a village here and you're a village there, these two villages can have very separate cultures, even if they're just 20 miles away, because it's so fucking hard to get from here to there. The idea of here is an entertainment act in this town, and here's an entertainment act in that town, and it's just inconvenient to get from here to there, caused a lot of just different types of media to pop up all over the place. Even same version of a play is enacted and executed differently in different areas when you have those little tiny intimate auditoriums. And then TV comes along, things like radio, and suddenly you have literally like 20 million people tune into the same thing every night. It's like very unusual in the history of humanity. And now, thanks to the internet, it's sort of like, dispersing out again. I mean, it used to be like 3 TV channels. Now there's a billion and a billion Twitch channels and a billion different places where you can get your stuff, which I think is really cool. And I think that I am most excited by that. I'm most excited by the idea that, like, I was able to devote years of my life to doing just StarCraft focused content and just thinking about that, which made me happy as a clam. Which is a weird thing to say anyways. Happy as a clam. Why is that a phrase? But that's how happy I was. I was at clammy levels of happy. And it wouldn't have been possible on TV. I would have had to do some weird rat race and convince people it was like billions of dollars in there. And if it failed, it would have been gone. So yeah. I think Dungeons and Dragons is just another example of, hey, here's a little market. It's not in the hundreds of millions. It's less than that. But it's enough, and it's strong and it's solid. I think the important takeaway is that clams have a great time. Don't Bull Jeff says, have you ever used your celebrity status for personal gain? I wonder. Here's something. If someone offers me something, I'm generally like, okay. Like, just anyways. If someone's like, let me pay for dinner, I go, oh, really? You don't have to. I mean, I'd be happy to pay for it. Oh, no, please, I insist. Okay. I just let them, right? I don't do this, no, I could, no. I tend not to do that. And, by virtue of just going to events where people have watched hundreds of hours of my content, and they're like, I have a thing for you. I accept. Are you kidding me? I'm totally going to take that. Unless it's an ingestible. You don't eat anything that's edible from a stranger. You don't do that. Because just once you have the experience where someone puts some sort of, poison's a dramatic word for it, but we'll just call them laxatives, and we'll just call the event an MLG. Right? Yeah, don't eat stuff from strangers. If you give me food, I'm probably not going to eat it unless I know you. Why am I talking about this? That was a tangent. Yeah, no, but in terms of the other thing, I totally accept that. But outside of that, it's very hard for me to even imagine where I might do that. No, I can now I can think of one, which is where, like, if I reach out to people, I'll totally be like, hello, I am Day9. I am a content creator with so many millions and millions and millions of viewers. Brr. Like, yeah. Yeah, so I do that, but I don't leave the house a lot. It's hard for me to actually, like, exploit it. Like, what I do on the weekends? Dota. Or I go out for a rousing lunch at Ethiopian restaurants. Things like that. I went to Ethiopia today and it was sick. Yeah, but because I'm not actually going a lot of places, I don't really have opportunities. It's not like I go to the areas where all the hubbub is going on in San Francisco, and I go, ooh, I'm famous, and they go, yes, come here, you're using it. Something like that. For all of you who are in disbelief, yeah, man. Yeah, man, that's the sad thing. There's just a few malicious people out there that makes you a little guarded. Okay, Joe Eunice says, Guy, pizza or sushi for dinner? Thoughts? Pizza. Get the pizza. I want you to imagine a pizza with a little extra tomato sauce, a little thicker crust, nice melted mozzarella cheese. You get some chopped sauteed mushrooms on there. Oh, those are really nice. I like to put a couple flecks of chili peppers on there. That's always good. There's a wide variety of hot sauces I like to put on there. I like to put a little sriracha on there. That's good. You know, I have no shame about this. Blue cheese. A little blue cheese dip. Dip the pizza in there. Hold it up. Oh, God. Oh. Pizza. Oh, my God. A little pizza in there would be so good. I like a mushroom pizza with pepperoni. A lot of pepperoni on there, just covering it. And then I put a little hot sauce on there, and I get the blue cheese dip, and I dip it in there. Now, in addition to that, I like to get 6-pack of Leffe, and I put 2 in the freezer so that they're cold. It's almost frozen. And I drink that ice cold Leffe with that delicious, thick, saucy, cheesy, mushroomy, pepperoni-y, spiced up pizza. It's so good. God, that's so good. Oh, God, that's incredible. Valkyrie Parable says, so what's your advice to those who are trying to get into digital media and find a voice that appeals to an audience? Most people have a small following or a name anyways when they start streams/podcasts. But what about just the average person? I mean, like, when I was in college and grad school, I used to hear businessy people. I didn't realize that. Baby cat, you okay? Oh, you're just licking. Okay, everything's fine. I used to, like, anyone who's talking businessy is basically just someone who's being completely reasonable. That's really all it is. There's this weird, like, oh, he's a business guy, which is like someone you imagine who just has gold and inlaid on all their suits and stuff. Whenever someone says, I have an idea, we should go to brunch, and they go, no, that's too expensive. We got to fire 20 people and raise profits, right? Like, most businessy people are just reasonable people who actually think about shit. And I remember I used to say things like, you need to identify the market. Like, who's your market? Who are you actually targeting? Like, what is it? And my reaction to that, and many people I know used to, probably still do, but definitely they used to do this, used to basically go, oh, I have to think of them and think of what they want and do that. And for, you know, it kind of sucked because it'd be like, well, I guess my market is people who play Halo. So does that mean I want to make a clone of Halo? And from a creativity standpoint, that felt very, emasculating. I don't want to do, no! I want to make the thing that I think is cool. But I think that the idea is less about pick a market and make something that's good for them, and more of saying, what do I want to do and what is the market for that? Like, for instance, if I say I want to make an extremely difficult first-person puzzle game, who's the market? Probably people who play first-person puzzle games. Talos Principle sold almost 1 million copies on Steam. Therefore, it would be difficult for me to sell more than Talos Principle unless I did something amazing. This is part of the reason why MOBAs flew a little bit under the radar. Or actually, World of Warcraft is a way better example. EverQuest had like 2 million, 1 million subscribers, somewhere in that range. And you expect to get 1 million or 2 million in the best case scenario if you're Blizzard. Instead, they went up to 10 million, which is like very, very unusual, but still. The market is a sort of analysis of what you want to do. So what I would say is, if you want to try to get a voice in digital media, you have to do something unique and understand your market for that. I accidentally nailed this with Day Night TV. I fucking nailed this shit with no skill or thought in the slightest. It was accidental. What happened is I said, I'm going to make StarCraft videos because I know the StarCraft community. They'd want it, and I love to do it. Woo! So I literally knew precisely where my market hung out. and made exactly the thing that they would want because it's exactly what I would want. And so, I mean, I destroyed that shit. I mean, I got one of those like old credit card machines, destroyed the problem, just dozed it. So, if you are looking to do something in media, ask who would give a shit about something you give a shit about. Maybe you're really into wood carving. Where do people who like wood carving hang out? Are there conventions that they go to? Are there forums where they hang out? If there are, how do you participate more in them? How do you get engaged in the community? How do you contribute to the community so that you have a little bit of credibility when you say, hey, here's my thing? I think that one of the worst things I see, not just from amateurs, but just like across the board of people trying to advertise or market themselves in digital media, is there is a cluelessness of where the people are who care about their thing, and therefore how to talk to them. Everyone's seen the commercial for some product, you know, like, here's our new cool electronic device. We're playing trap music. Yeah, here's a celebrity who's like, this piece of electronics is cool. And you're like, who the fuck thought this was a good idea? That's like everywhere, man. I see a lot of indie game devs do this, where they'll just like make a game, and they'll be like, I'm gonna advertise it, and they just Google indie game forum, and they just go post like, hey, I'm an indie game dev, I made my thing, and it's like post count 1, and everyone, they don't even look at the game link, they go, that guy's an asshole. Delete the thread. OwTiger0325 says, sorry, I didn't finish answering your question, Vulgar Parable. So, I would make a thing that is unique enough that it contrasts sharply with the other stuff that's being made. And I would say, this unique thing, where do the potential viewers of this live? And just go speak to them and hang out to them. Bam. So, AUTiger0325 says, are there still achievements on Twitch you look forward to? Like a certain number of followers or 100 million views? I truthfully have never, ever, ever looked forward to or benchmarked anything I've done against that in the slightest at all. Ever. Because it doesn't mean anything, right? Like, let's say this channel hits 100 million views. Not a metric that measures the success of the current standing of the business, which is all I really care about. Like, you know, for instance, if my average viewer count dropped by 40% over the course of 6 months, I would go, okay, there is a problem here. We need to look at it. If the viewer count increased 40% over the course of 6 months, I'd go, holy shit, that's an insane amount of percent. Wow, is this sustainable? And then I would stop and I'd actually doubt it like a rational person would and go, what do we think the reasons are for this? Where do we begin to see it? Let's investigate that. And so those numbers are useful as like points of like analytics to, you know, ask what the next steps are. But yeah, I mean, emotionally I don't care, right? Like, okay, the viewer count right now is 2,285 viewers. If I were doing Hearthstone, I would expect it to be 3 to 4 times that. At this time, yeah, 3 to 4 times this number. And I'm not sitting here going, oh no, look at the AMA, it's a disaster. I want to do this. I want to do this. This is great. I'm enjoying this. Yeah. Yeah, I sort of have a hatred for that shit. You know why? You know why I really hate that stuff? Is because suppose you are entering into something new. And let's just choose something pretty basic. What's a pretty basic thing that has like numbers in there? Why the fuck am I blanking on my examples? What is this? Yeah, like baseball. Let's say it's just play some baseball, right? Baseball has a shitload of statistics in it and numbers and stuff. So if you enter in baseball and you don't know anything at all in the slightest about baseball, statistics and rules of thumb are really useful ways to start figuring shit out. Here is a reasonable speed of a pitch from starting pitchers. Don't expect to pitch more than 70 miles an hour. Don't even expect that starting off. I'm pulling around my ass. Let's call it 50. It's conservatively 50 miles. Don't expect to pitch faster than 50 miles an hour as a new pitch. Don't expect to do that. Well, that's actually very useful for me because I was maybe beating up on myself. I was maybe thinking I suck. No, it's not a big deal. Okay, here is a good sprinting time that you should have. It's reasonable. And here's what some of the best people have. Here's what the mid-level people have. And these things, again, are like very useful for helping get a sense of what's going on. But there's a problem where people get a little too interested in these rules of thumb and these little numbers instead of the actual fucking understanding of the thing at hand. You know, like, your weight does not represent your health. Eventually you're going to bottom out and start gaining as you build muscle, right? Or maybe you just stabilize. Or maybe your weight doesn't change, but you're way healthier before and after because you're working out a lot. Things like this. And I think that the YouTube thing is the same sort of thing. Like, I've known a person, God, a shitload of people who are just like, oh my God, he has this many million subs and I have this many million subs. I don't understand why. They're just, oh God, I just want to be a successful YouTuber. And I'm like, dude, I don't have 1 million YouTube subs. And I'm doing great. Like, fucking relax. Would you stop looking at the number? If you make content that is different from everyone else's, you're fine, man. As long as you have like a reasonable number, like, don't worry about it. You can get deals that they can't get because of the quality of your content. So I think it's a little bit of a rat race too, because I think that there is also a gross excess of people who try to just get the numbers big. Hey guys, if you subscribe to my YouTube, you'll be automatically entered in a raffle for 10 free computers. Inflation, 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 inflation. And then when they say something like, hey viewers, I want you to go do this. Extremely tiny percentage of people do it because most of them don't give a fuck about that content creator. They only cared about getting the chance to free computers and they forgot about it. Now, while I was going on my rant, I am the Shaz. Did the final 15,000 bits. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the Shaz is the first ever 100,000 bit donor. Oh, damn. Oh, what a Christmas present. Man, Merry Christmas. I am the Shaz. Thank you. Oh my God, what a sick bit heater. Wow. Damn, I am the Shaz. Holy shit. GG. Dude, you gotta come to Oakland, man. Let's get you to Ethiopian, man. I am the Shaz. Gotta come to Ethiopian, man. Never had someone give $1,000. That's incredible. Wow. Wow. Oh my God, Rob Stasis went to Walia today, told me you recommended it on stream. Had to explain what Twitch was. Food was fantastic. Thanks for the recommendation. Sick, Rob Stacy. What do you have? Yes, I love Ethiopian. Oh! The buzzing seems to be getting louder. Yeah, man, I live in a building, and the building has pipes and shit that make noise, so I'm sorry. Right now, it's just... Oh God. Schnitzel says you always say you like to move your hands around a lot and stuff and tap, click. Why don't you get a Rubik's Cube? A Rubik's Cube doesn't really satisfy the same thing for me because I actually have to learn how to do something. But this, like, it's not hard to do. I think that if I became sufficiently good, that maybe then it would do that. But I might want something just simpler, like a little keycap clicker thing to do. I just want to say I love you and I miss you. Oh my God. Once again, thank you, I am the Shaz, and thank you for the kind words too, man. So sick. No Hirexi says, I just got my baby cat back from the neurologist. His results are completely normal, and I'm so incredibly grateful. What are you grateful for this holiday season? Truly, truly. We're about to go straight cheesy. And this sounds like I'm full of shit, right? This sounds like I'm not. I'm not full of shit, but I sound a little bit like a sycophant, right? Like I'm fawning over you. But seriously, this holiday season, and I mean this sincerely, it sounds cheesy, but I mean this, okay? Do you understand? This is so much of a qualification. He sounds more full of shit, doesn't he? Wow, listen to him go. No, but seriously, I'm being very sincere here. I'm very grateful for you. Really, sincerely, I mean this. I'm very grateful for you. Because what you permit me to do is have freedom and autonomy to talk about the things I want to talk about that are important to me, to be able to explore games and media and ideas, talk about them endlessly, and that's wonderful. It's such a gift. It's so lovely. I sincerely I can't say thank you enough for just, like, when I'm in a bad mood, I come here and it puts me in a better mood, you know. And part of me should expect some of that, right? Because me and Eric worked really hard to try to make sure that chat was a place of like cheer, positivity, where people, or it's like the little oasis in the sea of all the stress on the internet and in the world. We come here and it's a good place, and it's that for me too. I have all sorts of stuff in my personal life that goes on because I'm a human being, and then shit happens, and then I just come here and it's just great and it's wonderful. So sincerely, thank you very much. I'm very grateful for you this holiday season. Merry Christmas. Yeah. So sick. Someone says Sean's buffering for me. Well, that's fine. I didn't say anything important. Hiko Marukin says, how did you meet Eric? I met Eric on my very first day of Harvey Mudd. He and I hung out that entire time. We just met, we talked, and I was like trying to be cool. I was like, yeah, I play StarCraft. And he was like, I play Magic the Gathering. And I was like, yeah, I play Magic. He's like, I play StarCraft. New Bag 5 says, any recommendation for Ethiopian food in LA? Mercato. Merkato. Mercato. Or Mercato. There's actually, Little Ethiopia is at the intersection of Fairfax and San Vicente. I think that's right. 5991 says, I really admire your practical and positive attitude. Is there anything that you rely on to stay so grounded and upbeat? Or are you just full of indomitable positivity? I honestly think it's because there were a lot of experiences I had where I got the emotional shit kicked out of me. Oh God, the humming's gone. Wow, I didn't realize how much of a power that had over me, but suddenly I can think clearly. Oh no, it's back. No, someone's doing laundry. Fuck. Yeah, I mean, things like, God, I can't fucking think anymore. Shit. Things like, I mean, gosh, things like StarCraft was a real big educator for me, where, there's someone who's, being a shit talker. And what's StarCraft to me? Well, this is a big part of my identity. And, well, actually, let me frame this a little more sharply, okay? So, I did not have a good friend group in high school at all, period. At my actual high school. I had some friends outside of the school, but, I mean, think about how much time you're at high school and you come home from high school and do the work for high school and then you go to sleep and get up and go back to that high school. I just did not have a group of people that I really felt connected to when I was there. It was very, very sad, so I played a lot of StarCraft. Loved StarCraft, got really into it, and it's a big part of my identity. I feel good about myself because I can be good at StarCraft. Yeah, it doesn't matter how bad anything else is. This is what I got. And then there's some guy who's talking shit to you, and you play against him, and you lose. And then he makes more fun of you, and other people on the channel are laughing at you. Okay, well that's a pretty big negative emotional experience. The thing that I valued myself and my identity as, and my sort of reprieve from stress, suddenly got shit on by this jerk. like and that's it, the end, right? The end. That's it. It's done. That's the end of the story. It's not like, and then I got better and beat him. Nope. He was just an asshole to me, and he won, and then he got to leave. You kind of have that sort of like that negative experience, like, other things like, I went to an all-male high school, all guys. And so if I had to date someone, or if I wanted to date someone, I had to go outside of my high school, and then a breakup would happen. And then I just would have zero ability to communicate with her at all, right? There was no new input, right? It's not like I saw her in class the next day and we'd have a brief conversation. I can chew on that in my head, then talk to one of her friends the next day and chew on that in my head. I literally just had me and my thoughts and my feelings. And so, I mean, those are some of the, just really simple, basic examples I think a lot of people could know. But you have enough of those and other very stressful emotional experiences, and spending a lot of time reflecting and just sort of like, you start to be okay with certain things. And I worked really hard to try to think about what I wanted my reaction to be in that. And thank God social media and the internet didn't exist till I was in like grad school. Probably about 2008 is where I finally felt like I was a pretty mellow person. You go before then, you'll see emotional flip outs, yelling at people on the internet and shit. Like, no problem, not a big deal, right? Not a big deal. No one got to ever see emotional young Sean, right? No, like when I read shit about, did you know what Justin Bieber did? I go, well, of course he's 19, right? That's exactly, I totally did shit like that. Like, I was like petulant and grumpy, and no one understands me. Walk away from from shit and like ruin everyone else's time. Like, I totally did that. But I spent lots of time alone just thinking and reflecting and thinking and reflecting and mulling. And I think the word that I try to hit in stressful situations is, I'm okay. Right? I'm okay. Guy talked shit to me and beat me in something that I cared about. And I'm okay. Not like, and I will seek my revenge, or, and actually this is good because of this weird rationalization. Just, I'm okay. I'm okay. Because let me tell you, a lot of those revenge fantasies that you get, like, God, this person was mean to me in high school, and then like in college, you get on their Facebook wall and you see they had a breakup, and you're like, yeah, this weird evil party is like, yes, or see this like, guys, I'm having trouble finding a job. You're like, yeah, or this weird Schadenfreude that happens. You don't get that in StarCraft. The guy who there's a specific guy I'm thinking of, used to talk a lot of shit, and I played him like many times over the course of a year and lost all of them, like 100% of the games. So suddenly I don't get to lose this one game, play again, and beat him the second game and go, we did it, right? No, that's just a guy who just beat the shit out of me. And that's it. That's at the end. How do I figure out how to emotionally deal with that thing? Yeah. So I just spent a lot of time focusing on me, focusing on things that I cared about, looking inward. And now I'm the sort of person where if we have planned for a week for you to come over and stay at my place for a week, and we're gonna have a LAN party, and if you cancel an hour before you're supposed to get there, I'm okay. I'm totally fine, because I have all the things that I like to do. I'm gonna hang out with me, and I like me. I'm gonna play the games I want to play, and I like them. Except Dota sometimes, because occasionally you're up against a Slark who I can never fucking dodge the fucking pounce. Fuck! But outside of that, I play the games that I like, listen to music that I like. I have art surrounding me that I like. I have 2 cats, fucking sick baby cats. I've got this cat castle that I'm like really amazed with. This thing is it's this enormous, giant palatial cat castle. Yeah. flark. So I think that's part of the reason why I feel the ability to be positive and the ability to be relatively mellow, because stuff can happen around me, but that will not change what's happening in here. And even though there's a lot of days where I just feel down and shitty and upset, I'm okay being down and shitty and upset. I'm like totally okay with that. Sometimes I just need to be that way and be alone until I feel better, and then I feel okay. I have very few expectations of other people, you know, because if you're like, oh my god, we're gonna have a LAN party, you know, you can't go because it's something reasonable. But what about my fun? I don't do that shit. I don't need to do that. I don't need to. Why would that be good? God, why can't you? But what about me? I hate when people do. I really hate that. When I'm like, I'm upset, and they're like, yes, but what about me? You can't come to the LAN party because you have work that sprung up and is ruining your Christmas break? But what about me? Man. There's a mental model that I really like, that from all people, I heard this from RuPaul, whom I admire quite a bit. I want you to imagine a stream, and there's things floating down that stream, little objects in the water, just gently floating down. And these are your thoughts and your ideas and opinions and stories and facts and just stuff going on in your head. And a lot of people think that the river and all those things that are floating in them is who they are. But really, you are a person standing at the banks of that river, looking at things as they pass by, and you get to choose which things you pull out. And that's who you are. That's who you get to be. I think I'm just like any other person, where I think really angry shit at people, and I get really frustrated and upset and mad about stuff. But I stop and I choose to express the way that I want to express. And I think a lot about the way I want to express myself. And I would describe probably the most predominant word about me is I'm pretty inoffensive. I even feel like the way that I say fuck is just, it's not that, it doesn't feel like it's not fuck, or if I do it, at least comes across fine. I try to be like inoffensive, right? I try not to project negative things inside of me out. Or I think dumb things a lot. And I just keep getting lots of thoughts until there's one or two that I like, and I pull those things out. And I'm like, okay, here's the things I think I really like those. Want to do a big thing. Oh my god, Mr. Lancelot. Merry Christmas to you for 5,000 bits. Just had a pretty depressing evening after drinking, caused by serious sickness in the family. Oh. Stream cheered me up quite a bit. Thanks a lot. Your work is really appreciated. I'm glad, Lancelot. Illness in the family, I've dealt with that, and that is quite a lot of stress. Everything's going to be okay. It's going to be fine. Everything's going to be okay. There was a question that I read that I really liked. Where is it? I'm going to scroll up here. Actually, look at Control F. Little blue one says, "What's a relationship deal breaker for you?" All right. These are not my words. I stole these from Tristan, but they resonate with me. Tristan said this to me probably 8 years ago, and I've just been thinking about it ever since then. He said, the most important quality for me, for a friend or a relationship to have, is self-reflection. If they are not self-reflective and think about how they behave and reflect upon it and adjust, if they don't have that sort of self-reflection, I just will not even spend any time with them. Because if someone is self-reflective and you can see them thinking about how they are behaving and see themselves thinking about how they think about things, you can be friends with almost anyone. So I have a number of friends that are very I almost want to say all over the place, right? You might think that like, oh, I have a lot of friends who are StarCraft players, and we're all StarCraft players together. But really, it's like, there's someone I like who's very deeply self-reflective. There's a person I like. There's a person I like who has that quality. Yeah. Because I feel like, I mean, it's almost a sort of dumb Trump thing, because it's like, oh, so Trump's all things because then it doesn't matter what other personality traits they have, because they can be self-reflective and think about it. And I actually kind of do. I do think that. I do think that. Yes. Yes. Dude, you know, I'm this is almost a little too personal. I'm opening myself up here. A lot of the really poignant, thoughtful, sincere, and meaningful things that I say on my show is just shit Tristan said. Wow, most important qualities. Your friends are self-reflective. Why? He gives the answer. That's mine now. I'm taking that. I mean, it's yours, but it's also mine. It's just snatch that shit. Got him. Woo. Je plie excused says, what is the embarrassing thing that your brain reminds you of when you are lying awake at night? I got a few of those, and I'm not going to say any of them on air because I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed, and they feel bad. Why would you ask me that? I can't believe you. Je plie excused. Well, there was this one time when here's what was happening and here's what I did, and everyone watching is like, Jesus, Sean, oh, how embarrassing. I'm like, oh God, I'm not sleeping tonight. I'm not gonna do it. I am not gonna do it. This is not a therapy session. I have to open up to you. We don't have viewer streamer confidentiality or some shit. I'm not gonna do that. What are you, nuts? Does that happen to me? Yes. Can you tell? God. Sharing is caring, Sean. No back off subs and soda. Oh. Wow. Is it flying in the space? Is it Kraken story? That's a good one. That's a good one. I'm not actually, I don't have like shame there, but it's just so silly and funny. And I still think about that, man. I still imagine myself as a giant space Kraken. Cheesy X says, what's the coolest piece of technology you've tried in the last 6 months or so? What is the coolest piece of technology? I know it. I know it. This wasn't your question, but I have the answer. It is an app called Doko Noko that is nothing but dog and cat photos. That is the most amazing thing. Here we go. Open up the phone. It's Doko Noko time. Opening up Doko Noko for animals again. Come on, load. I love it. It's called Doko Noko Animals. Fucking load. There we go. Oh, see, look. I mean, it's taking a long time to load, but you can see just animals, and you like scroll down. There's more animals. Oh, look at this little wolfy guy. Oh, look here. Look at these 3 cats. They want their dinner. Oh, hold on. Oh, yeah, look at the cats. Oh, hello. Look at this one. She's just trying to get up. Oh. Oh, he's such a good cat. Yeah, Here's the thing. Here's a thought that I have. I am not a fan of social media right now. Let me actually give you a legitimate answer, Cheesy X, for why this thing tickles me. Imagine an intersection, right? We have two roads crossing. Yeah? Have it in your head? And imagine no stoplights, no stop signs. You would slow down every time you got to the intersection. You'd look around, and you, a free moving agent, would sort of like try to navigate around everyone else who's also making their decisions as free agents, just sort of moving through. I don't mean free agent like the NBA term. I mean like actually you're an agent, someone with agency who makes decisions, and you're free to do whatever the hell you want. Or you're a free agent in this system, and you can imagine certainly accidents happening. You can imagine accidents might occur. Let's pretend that people are actually cautious enough to slow down and look around and then actually maneuver around each other. Is this optimal? Well, I actually saw a similar kind of intersection in China that actually wound up in a traffic snarl where no one could move. And they actually had to have like police come in and push people out to unwind the traffic and then go around. Now, imagine this same intersection that used to have no stoplights, no stop signs, just an intersection. Imagine if you said, I'm going to think about this. I'm going to create a system called traffic lights that work in this way, where people get to go when it's green, they have to stop. When it's red, you're allowed to turn right on red. Sometimes you need what's called a protected left in order to make a left turn. And by creating this kind of system, you get reduction in accidents, faster traffic, easier driving. The system and its rules create a benefit. They create a type of behavior that is positive for all these free agents. So although they're not completely free agents anymore, their goals are being more effectively satisfied. And this is really an example of how my voice is getting dry. Oh, traffic lights are very emotional for me. This is an example of how the structure of the system positively impacts the agents within that system. And we see this sort of thing in games all the time, right? All the time, all the time, all the time. In Dota 2, you get an increasing reward for killing people the farther behind you are. This is a thing that promotes hope. It promotes a very certain sensation because you do have a chance to get back into the game. You do have a lower percentage, but you still have a non-trivial percentage. You still have the power. All these sorts of things. And social media, for me, has been, it's a very unstructured, you do whatever the heck you want participant on our social media platform kind of thing. And for me, the reason that I like, or that I don't like a lot of social media right now is that it's difficult for me to get an experience that I want out of it. I was talking a little while ago about, I used to get on Facebook because it would be friends of mine posting vacation photos, food, talking about a cool article, funny video. It was a zone out, low impact, calm place. And I feel like it's just people yelling at each other now. And I just don't really want to see that. And I know what some people mean is that some people talk about post-truth society. Oh, I'm conservative and I hate those stupid liberals. I'm liberal and I hate those stupid conservatives. I'm saying I don't want emotional intensity when I'm on Facebook. I don't want that. If I want intensity in a book, I'll read a fiction thriller. If I want lack of intensity in a book, I will read some nonfiction. Right there, I have ways to control my experience. And what I find really difficult and sort of disheartening is that I'm having a real hard time going on Twitter and Facebook and anywhere without that emotional intensity being there. And I feel like it's gotten to a point where I have been actively trying to find ways to get around this and to just get the pieces of interaction that I really want. And there's just no, there's almost no tool for that. And in fact, I feel like social media rewards emotional intensity. And again, I don't mean bad or good or true or false or this topic or that topic. I'm literally talking about intensity. Here's the most amazing video of a woman or a young woman giving her dad adoption papers. Jesus, that is emotionally intense. Right? Like saying, hey, stepdad, I want you to be my official dad. He's like bursting into tears and he's crying. I just don't want to see that. It's 12:30 at night. I'm going to go to sleep soon. I'm exhausted. Like, yeah, that's sweet. That's really sweet, right? And I mean, I think a lot of people who were, hearing me started this were just like, oh yeah, he's talking about the election. The election is one dimension of this. Even before the election happened, this is happening everywhere. It's like, here's a photo of a dead baby washing down a drain pipe in Western China. And I'm like, Jesus, I just woke up. I've had 3 sips of coffee. For God's sake. And then, of course, is the clickbait article. It's like 11 unbelievable tips for preparing shrimp. Number 4, I couldn't believe shrimp could be prepared that way. It's just too much intensity. I don't want it. I don't want it. And it makes me think back to that little traffic example that I brought up of all these people navigating and posting and sharing the type of social media that they want. And it makes me wonder if there's some system that can be layered on there, kind of like, traffic lights. If there's some sort of system that could be layered on top that would promote a certain type of behavior that would actually be better for everyone. And so what I love so much about Doko Noko and why I'm really fascinated in it as a piece of technology, as a piece of, really design, is that this is focused as fuck, right? This is just animal photos. Look at this cat. The kitty is reading a letter. Oh, it's a kitty. Oh my God, that's so nice. Oh, here's a cat. Hold on. There's a cat. She's on top of the castle. Oh, she's happy there. She's a little cat loaf. Oh my God. Oh, this is so sweet. Look at this cat. This cat's looking at birds. This cat's looking out the window. Yeah, it's a good cat. So I wonder if there is merit in a more focused, subject-oriented collection of social media, kind of like ABC, CBS, and NBC used to be like the only 3 channels. And then you wind up with something like ESPN, we're just sports. HGTV, we're just home and gardening. That's it. That's totally it. History Channel, well, fuck, I guess we have Pawn Stars and Aliens. No, fuck the History Channel. No, HGTV is a better example. Should have stopped on that. That I wonder if, we got Facebook and Twitter, big social media platforms that explode. If there's like more focused ones. I don't know. Because right now, I truly think that if there were something that was like, I guess it's really communities, just smaller focused communities. I would be into that shit. That's actually why I like Twitch. That's why the media that I consume far and away the most is Twitch. Like just being able, like I watch a lot of Rocket League, like lots and lots and lots of Rocket League, and just like sitting down, tuning into a Mike Rules. Just listening to him just talk in his very calm accent. Calm little, I think it's Scottish accent. Somewhere up in that UK area. He's great. So yeah. Axelary Power says, Jeff, In Control Robinson only posts videos of cute animals on Facebook. That's what I'm fucking talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I like those focused communities things. Yeah, that's a good rant. That's a good one. That was a strong rant. That's a good traffic light example. I gotta use that one again. That was solid. Crazy Chris 576. What was your favorite after-school kids show in elementary school? God, Batman the Animated Series. It's still one of my favorite TV shows, and I'm 30. I have that Sheryl Crow song stuck in my head. Are you strong enough to be my man? Raindrops says, hard not to miss those pearly whites. Yeah. They're fake! Are you strong enough to have fake teeth? MC Chris22 says, have you ever gone to an esport event purely as a spectator? Yeah. Genesis Smash event was the most recent one I went to. I used to do BlizzCons. Been to the OGN studios as a spectator before. Oh yeah, I'm into that shit. CPL, does that count? Aaron Tway says, as someone who has the benefit of having a voice, do you ever feel the need to speak up for causes? Or is the exact opposite true, or somewhere in between? Oh yeah, I speak up for the ones that I feel, are personally important to me. I think that they might not be the ones that are buzzword topics. I'm not like, I have a conservative agenda, and here's my conservative, I'm a liberal, and now here's a liberal news thing, and did you know that Flint has a water crisis? I mean, these are certainly important things. I'm not using that silly voice to try to diminish it. I'm using it because it's funny. But I think one of the big ones most consistently you've heard me talk about is mental health. I think that mental health is it worries me. Like, God, yeah, it really gets to me. Like, I have something that's really beneficial for me is that I do a lot of different types of work. And because it's very different, that kind of energizes me. I'm not streaming for 80 hours a week. I would work on a project for a little bit, do a show, have a meeting about a different project, do a third project, do another show, come back to the first project, do another show, get on a plane, do their show, come back, do my show, right? There's a lot of different things that are going on there that give me a certain amount of energy in there. It's very stimulating, and I don't get too burnt out, but I get burnt out. It was really hard for me to try to figure out how to do a balance of that. And the world is right now especially such that it will take if you want to keep giving. You know what I mean? Like, if you worked 40 hours this week and you think, shit, I should really work this weekend, the world will let you work this weekend. And I, in my life, have had so many people talk about, here's a way to improve your productivity, here's how much water I'm drinking, or here's my sleep schedule, or don't eat heavy foods at this time or you'll get tired. Here's a quick way to energize yourself. I recommend meditating for 15 minutes so that way you can get the energy you need to get the work done. It's just like, get the work done, grind, push, get the work done. Now, I certainly do have a certain bias because I've worked in hyper competitive fields, like creative fields, so a lot of it is effort that helps you rise to the top. Because if people are doing it because they have a passion, how the hell do you outperform someone who has a passion? Well, you gotta have a passion and a work ethic. Grind. But I've rarely heard people say, how are you taking care of yourself? What are wow, you're working a lot. What do you do to decompress? Are you getting to do that a lot? What are things that are fun that don't help you unwind as much? Those sorts of things. Dude Man 001 says that Freudian self-plug. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I was watching Day 9 TV, or excuse me, TV the other day. Yeah, I deliberately don't talk about a lot of issues because I've always been a big surfer on Team Liquid, and especially in my Brood War days, I was a very active poster and participant in those forums. For any of you who don't know, Team Liquid is like the it StarCraft forum. Well, at the time of this story, it was the it StarCraft forum. Now, Team Liquid is a whole bunch of things, but I was really at one of my absolute peaks of play. Like, just really devoting all my time to doing this, and really I was getting some real successes and big learnings and performing really well. And there was a thread that was like, hey, why did this guy get these 2 zealots in PvZ in this matchup? And they're like linked to the VOD, and there's a little discussion thing, and huge multi-page discussion about this. And as I read it, literally everyone was wrong. Like, everyone's wrong. People on the Protoss side are wrong, people on the Zerg side are wrong, the people who are making agreements, yeah, no, this seems to make sense, they're fucking wrong. All of it's wrong. It's just wrong. It's wrong start to finish. It was a giant pile of incorrect stuff. And it's moments like those where you see the calm and collected and thoughtful prose of someone who's totally fucking wrong being consumed and regurgitated and dissected in a wrong way by someone else who's wrong. And it just makes you go, God, I better be real careful forming opinions about stuff. Most of the time, I should say, I really don't know. That's what most of my answers about most topics is. Can't say for sure. I don't know. So for that reason, like, I'm gonna take the Flint water crisis. Like, there appears to be a town called Flint where there's a lot of lead in the water. Lead is not healthy to drink. There have been people who have been drinking this who are getting sick. They've been having to drink bottled water instead of their tap water. That's most of what I know. I don't know the politics of it. I don't know how lead gets into water, how it gets removed from water, or why that happens. I don't know any of this stuff. And what I'm not going to say that it isn't important. I'm not saying that someone should look into that. Or I'm not saying that someone should not look into that or that it doesn't matter. I'm not trying to diminish or demean it at all. I'm just saying that is one of like 500 different popular topics that I honestly say, here's the 5 things I know about it. I don't really know a lot of stuff about it. So that's part of the reason why I tend not to comment, because I think it would be incorrect. Let's make up an issue. Let's say that there's a bunch of people in Widgetstan who are suffering quite a lot, and I say something like, why does our government not care for Widgetstan, huh? Why is that? I mean, you would think if you're the president that you would... No, I don't fucking even know what being the president is like. I have no clue. I'm sure there's articles out there that I could read about and papers that I could research and a whole bunch of stuff on government sites that describe what the president does, but I don't have a clue. Why would I try to claim to know? That's such a dumb thing to do. Information's there, but I'm content with focusing on certain things. Aaron Twit follows up by saying, so when you say mental health, are you talking about personal, general mental health? And that makes sense that you do not want to talk about usual, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. No, I'm definitely talking about the idea of, like, I'm a person living a relatively normal life. How do I take care of myself, emotionally speaking? Talking about feelings, it's weird. You don't talk about feelings. I still really struggle with that. Really struggle to value my feelings more than the feelings of others. Very hard for me to do. Incredibly difficult. Like, even in really simple ways. Like, if I'm at a lunch with you, and let's say that you're not a viewer, you're actually just like one of my friends, we're at lunch, and it's been an hour and I just want to go home. I literally, it feels impossibly difficult for me to go, yeah, no, I think I'm kind of tired, I'm going to head home. That feels impossible. That is so hard for me to deal with that. Because I'm like, no, I can just wait 20 more minutes. He's done, we're going to pay him, it's fine. I can just wait 20 more minutes. And it is okay to choose to wait 20 more minutes because you're having a nice time anyways and you don't want to bother your friend. That's an okay choice to make, But a lot of times for me emotionally, it does not feel like a choice. It feels like what I have to do. You know what I mean? And I like, me saying this right now is like the first time I've ever heard anyone in my life bring this up. And I'm 30 and I'm interested in this topic. And I don't know, it just sort of bums me. I just wish it were more talked about. I wish it were more of a thing. I wish there was like a class in school where it's like, what if you are in a group project and you think you are working much more than another person? How do you, one, get the other person to do an adequate amount? Two, how should you think about your project as it relates to your grade and maybe what you should say to the professor? Three, how do you deal with the emotional stress of being in that situation? I don't know. No one's ever told me about that. No one's ever. Yeah. You see, Sargon 2 says the trick is to say you have to go, but that you don't, then stay for a few minutes after that. That way it seems like you don't want to leave. That's the thing, is that like I've heard a lot of things like this. They're like, here's a tricky way to slip a little bit of extra, a little extra in, just lie in this particular way and it'll be great. I mean, lie is like a really dramatic word to use there, but it's always like, here's an example of a thing. I know people who, if someone says, hey, do you want to come out on Friday night? They don't give an honest answer, which is, I might want to. I might just want to stay in and play games. Can I let you know at 7 p.m. on Friday? I want you to think, do you know someone who speaks openly like that? How many times have you given that response? Like, really? I know a lot of people who say, hey, yeah, I might be able to, but I might have to work a little later. And then if they get home at 6 and they're tired, they go, hey, yeah, no, I actually did have to work. They like create a false out. Some of you saying, actually, that's great, that's great. I definitely don't think it's like rare. No one's ever done it, but I mean like. But I know a whole bunch of people who would confirm on Friday night and then at 7 p.m. be like, hey, I'm really sick, when they're not sick, right? Like, Jirachi120 says, my wife asked me to pass her the lip balm and I accidentally passed her a tube of super glue. She's still not talking to me. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. Jail Price says, people who do that are used to dealing with aggressive people who react poorly to honesty. Yeah. I mean, I want the other thing, which is like, what if there's someone who you really like and you ask to do something and they give you a wishy-washy answer? What is a good response to make them feel comfortable with that? I know a lot of people who literally don't know how to react to that. Okay, well, can you let me know sooner? Because, I mean, I want to make other plans, but I can't make it if you're sort of half committed. Re-putting the pressure back on the other person. Oh, Jirachi120, did you hear about the mathematician who was afraid of negative numbers? He'll stop at nothing to avoid them. Oh my god, Petit Drogo! Oh my god, Petit Drogo! What a pleasure to see you. The top-ranking Zealot Archon Protoss in the world. Says, do you still have trouble keeping a decent sleep schedule as a gamer at 30? Yeah. About 2 weeks ago, I was staying up till like 5 in the morning. I try to impose regularity on myself. I've been trying to, the thing that's been most helpful for me in the last 2.5, 3, 4 years, something like that. I don't eat food after a certain time. Like after like 8:30, I just like stop eating food. I try to just take a melatonin at 11. Then I play a game with Nick's Assassin at like 11:45, and I am like so fucked up in that game. I'm just like, Nick's. I'm just trying to click on anything I can. Those help a lot. But yeah, I sort of go on and off. Sort of go on and off. Chirachi120 says, "What's a comedian's least favorite drink?" Booze. That's good. Yeah, no, I've like inverted my sleep schedule to like an upsetting degree. Like so many times. I still remember when I was in college and I came home over winter break one time, and I purchased an Xbox 360, and I just like had never used it. And I was like, God, and I own all these games because it sort of came as like a little package deal thing. And I was like, I should just make myself play through these games. So I played all the way through Gears of War, and then I played through all the way through Grand Theft Auto 4. And I was playing through Mass Effect, and my sleep schedule was wildly ruined because I've been like staying up all night to do exams and stuff. And I remember it was 5 in the morning. This is spoilers. This is spoilers, okay? This is spoilers for Mass Effect 1. Here, do this. I'll do this, okay? And when I pull them out, that's when the spoiler's done, okay? So at 5 a.m., I hit the conversation with Sovereign, and I almost lost my fucking mind at 5 in the morning. And I was so blown away. Okay. I was so blown away by that moment in the game that I woke up my mom at 5 in the morning. She was like, "What in the fuck are you doing waking me up?" And I was like, Mom, get out of bed! Get out of bed! We gotta see it! You know, like, oh my gosh, one of those amazing moments in all media for me. Mom! Oh, Jesus! I mean, that shook me, man. I was like so blown away. I don't know. I mean, I hadn't been talking to any people because I didn't bring my computer home. I didn't bring it home. So I only had the 360. And, I mean, texting was not like a huge thing at that point either. So, I was talking to no people. So it's like 5 a.m. I've had like no social interaction for like 72 hours. Like, I'm like, Mom! Mother. Let's go ahead and answer one more. Let's do one more question. The last question, and then I'm gone. Sean gone. This is not the last question, but I'll just answer it anyways. Clint Talk says, "How do you not get tired of Hearthstone? You can't play it anymore." Different deck every day. Experiment. That's how. I think I would go insane if I had to play just the same 4 decks. What is something that is not meaty at all? Like an absolutely not meaty question. Like, what is the least meaty game? Not game, question. My God. This is just a very... God, we're waiting for the most basic ass question. Favorite color. Favorite color. What a great question. Favorite color. Because I actually have an answer. I actually have an answer for this. 2 people asked about the favorite color. Colto and JJ Ryan 49. Okay, let's talk about favorite colors, okay? When I was young, it's just actually not a short answer, it's fucked up. When I was young, I didn't really have a favorite color. I really didn't. Like, I was like a little robot, right? I looked ridiculous, and someone's fault goes to my mother, right? Someone's fault goes to my mom. And I'm not talking genetically, I'm talking fashion-wise. My mom got me and my brother huge t-shirts, like huge. I think she just thought that we looked cute in baggy clothes or something, but I mean, it was like a dress. It like went down to like above my knees, so I'm like swimming in a shirt, just trying to do anything. I looked dumb. I oh yeah, I've talked about this too. I for some reason found moose in the house, like the little, like this sort of moose. And I thought that was cool, so I put like moose in my hair when I was like young. Like we're talking like second grade, and I would just make it go all the way to the left, right? Just like a sheet of hair. Um, and I had these huge glasses, like they looked like welding goggles. I looked like Barb from Stranger Things, right? Just, and I had super bad vision, so like my eyes were like these little tiny beads that were bright red because I had like an allergic reaction to the mousse that would flake off in my hair, so it'd be like, into my eyes, just like looking at things. And because I had this huge shirt, I would also I got little sweatpants, and sometimes because the shirt was so unwieldy, I would tuck them into the sweatpants. So I had like this round. It looked like I had an inner tube hiding underneath the sweatpants, and and this is my fault. This wasn't my mom. This is me. I wanted to wear snow boots all the time because I just liked them. They were fun, right? You put them on, they go boom, boom, boom. So you sort of like clomp everywhere you go. And I got the bright purple Velcro ones. Those are pretty cool, right? So they would go, and I would just do that in class all day. And my teacher used to yell at me because like I'm fidgety now. I was fidgety then. So what I used to do is I used to have like a pen, and I'd be chewing on the pen, like bouncing in my chair and like pulling on my fucking shoes. Like I was like a loud, bad circus act. Like fucking noisy, fidgety inner tube waist man with his sheen of hair and his beady red little eyes. And I mean, I want to give you this image because I want you to imagine this kid fucking going to town on just being noisy, thinking things like, it is irrational to have a favorite color. Like, I would think that shit. I would think the word irrational in like second grade. I read too much, so I had all these big words that I would like direct inward to inflate my own ego. Like, I almost was like a child genius from a cartoon who was like, it is irrational to like the color. I thought that was cool. I used to go up to girls I had crushes on. The first girl I had a crush on in third grade, her name was Gail. I would go up to her and I would say facts. I'd go, Gail, did you know that the tree sloth can move at an average of 6 feet per minute? And she would go, I don't know what she did. Because I don't remember any of her reactions. I was absolutely terrified. But I did know that that was cool, right? I knew it. Like, in here, I fucking knew that that was actually cool to say that to Gail. So, Gail, come here. I have information. So here's a kid who doesn't have a favorite color. And as I continue to have all these feelings that would well up inside of me, right? I had all these feelings. Like crushes of a different girl named Jamie. And one day we got in from recess and someone said, what's your favorite color? And Jamie said, it's blue. And from across the room I heard this. And with my inner tube waist, with my noisy boots, with my beady little eyes, I screamed, my favorite color is also blue! And she looks at me and she goes, ew. And I was like, oh God, I was like so obsessed. Oh God. And I was mad. I couldn't believe that happened. What a fucking asshole, huh? Bonding over a color and it grosses her out. You know what? It's irrational to have favorite colors anyways. She sucks. And you know what happened? I said, inside in me, swimming in the shirt, I said, my favorite color's red. I don't like blue. And since then, I've never been a big fan of the color blue. Ever. I've never been a fan of the color blue. Never. I don't know. Don't want it. I don't even think I liked red that much, but it was not blue, and that's fucking way better than blue. So I went with red. And red was my favorite color for a long time. Until There was one day in well, that explains spell splingers. Maybe that is. Maybe that's actually subconscious. So when I was in high school, there was this weird moment where again, this is I'm very selective about what I say because I think some weird dumb shit. So the thing that I thought in high school, I think it was like sophomore year, I went, do I really like the color red? I've been asked what my favorite color is for years now, and I always say red, but do I really like red? And I discovered the answer is no. I don't hate red, I'm just not that excited by it. So I spent a long time thinking, what are the colors that I like? And I got a list of the top 5. And they are in order: purple, orange, green, white, and brown. White, really nice color. Ooh yeah. Brown, we can actually talk about these. We'll talk about in reverse order. Brown, I liked brown because when I watched Warcraft 3 replays of top players, there was one player whose name I don't fucking remember. He always chose brown. And that was interesting to me because I was like, wow, not a lot of people seem like they would choose brown. They go for blue and red. This guy goes brown. Oh, and he always gets the color brown. If you like blue and I like blue and we play Warcraft 3, only one of us is going to be blue. But this guy, he's always brown. He gets to be brown every single game. So that's why that was coming in number 5. Number 4, white. Why do we like white? Well, because in Kansas City it snows. It snows a lot. And there's that time when you wake up and you look outside and everything in the world is accented with huge blocks of even white. It would snow to the point where cars couldn't go on the road, animals fucked off. Sean said romantically. They just bailed. So there's no footprints, there's no nothing, just an even sheet of white. And I'm like, this is a really lovely thing. Green's up there because it's not blue and red. That's honestly it. Green's just a nice looking color, right? It's nice. It's like nature and natural and sort of cool. And I played Magic then too, and green was like my favorite color in Magic at the time. Now it's like green and black, like right there. So green, we got green. And then purple and orange kind of paired together. They're just vibrant, rich colors. Orange is like a little off, right? It's like a little off. Like nothing that normal is orange, right? It's like an orange cone, and it doesn't mean it's good or bad. It's just like, look out. Fanta, have you seen their commercials? It's insane, man. I always went for that orange soda, man. That stuff's dope. Things that were super reserved, you know, like we were American Airlines, we're blue and red. We're Southwest. We're still blue and red, but maybe a little more playful. No, no one's orange. Orange. I was like, we got to get orange in there. And purple. Purple felt so royal and mystical, and there was significance to purple. So I just was really into that. And I was so into this ranking of colors that I came up with in high school that, I kid you not, I made my AOL Instant Messenger pair of colors orange text on a purple background. Orange text on a purple background, motherfucker. You want to talk to me? Well, I want it to feel loud. And that felt good. That felt good to have the purple background and the orange font. It's hard to read. It's hard to talk to me online. You had to like highlight it with your mouse and then you could see it. This was the most obnoxious conversation he's ever had. I wouldn't even use caps lock. I'd be like typing grammatically properly and be like, God, this is honestly like trying to play Ultima 7 with its Gothica font. And I think I really just liked purple and orange for a long time. White slowly made its way up. White, God, just the beauty of a snowed-in day in Kansas City. I'll just never forget. And then Day 9 TV started, and there's a brilliant man by the name of Bernat, who is someone who just sent a message to me one day saying, hey, I watched your show and I really like it. I made a beautiful visual for you. Just whipped it up. Let me actually see if I can find it. You'll recognize this. Yep. Yeah, I mean it's a little low resolution, but remember this? Bernat just sent this to me. Remember, this used to be just like all over my stuff. And I was just like, that is so cool. Oh my god. And so of course I started talking to him, asking him to do some other graphic stuff, and then I don't remember how it happened, but it was like, hey, do you want to do our brand? Do you want to do our brand? And so he came up with everything. He came up with the Day 9 yellow, the visual rules, the diagonal lines. He came up with the color palette, the typeface, everything. Just knocked it out of the park. And everything that you see is based off Bernat's design. And I think you can actually Bernat for yeah, I mean this guy's amazing. Look, I'm gonna go here. Look, it's Bernat's website, right? See, you can just see that he's just so good visually. And look at that, oh, look at that, Day 9 brand design. Look at that, it's right there. You can see it's right there, man. So sick. I don't know if he uses his website anymore, but there it is. So sick. And as time went on, Day 9 yellow, FFA71A, has not just become my favorite color, but it's not even the band of color. It's like that hexadecimal FFA71A. It's my shit right there. So now whenever I see this, it evokes so many feelings that no other color can, right? Like it gives me that sense of pride and achievement, like I built something and that color represents it, like everything that I like believe in terms of like what games are, like the idea that, you know, taking things really seriously, like trying to really improve and get better, and then improving at games like a reflection of yourself, but let's not forget to have fun too and enjoy it and the joy there. I feel like this is the perfect color to like represent that, you know, the sort of hardness and the softness being there. I love this color. Every time I see it anywhere, it gives me a little feeling of pride and achievement and good happiness. And so for that reason, Day 9 yellow, discovered by Bernat, thank you Bernat, is my favorite color. That is my favorite color. Thank you for listening. I hope you have a fantastic Christmas. I hope you have a wonderful holiday. Seriously, Jamie's still an asshole. Seriously, I can't believe she did that. Merry Christmas, see you in 2017.